गुड मॉर्निंग फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम टू द सेशन। मार्केट में हम जो देख रहे हैं, एक तरह का माहौल जो बना है वो काफी एक डिप्रेसिंग माहौल है, सेलर्स का माहौल है, बट मार्केट जोर से गिर भी नहीं रहा, एक ड्रिफ्ट है। ये माहौल कब तक चलेगा मार्केट में? देखिए, जब भी मार्केट जो मीडियम और लॉन्ग टर्म एवरेजेस है, जो लॉन्ग टर्म को हम 200 डे मूविंग एवरेज मानते हैं और मीडियम टर्म को हम 50 डे मूविंग एवरेज मानते हैं और शॉर्ट टर्म को हम 20 डे मूविंग एवरेज मानते हैं। देखिए, हर एक एवरेज पे देयर आर दिस ग्रुप ऑफ सेलर्स, द शॉर्ट टर्म ट्रेडर्स, द मीडियम टर्म traders and the long term traders. Right now, if you see market is below all the averages, that's where you are seeing this pressure. But having said that, market has always given a swing of 2.5+ percentage, and it's also coming around the gap. जो gap रहता है, जैसे हमने सब्सट्रैक पे भी गैप पे एक्सटेंसिव नोट लिखा, मेक श्योर यू गो थ्रू इट बिकॉज द ट्रेडिंग टाइटन कम्युनिटी इज थ्रू यूट्यूब एजुकेशन and Substack channels on Trading Titan tips and tricks and the notes all together makes us understand how we should position ourselves in the markets. So gaps are always providing act as a support. See, ye support, whether it's a reversal or it will hold for 2 to 3 days, that judgment we have to do make on a day to day basis. रोज के रोज हम चार्ट्स देख के डिसाइड करेंगे कि क्या गैप पे कोई बुलिश रिवर्सल कैंडल आ रही है, क्या ट्रेंड लाइन ब्रेकआउट हो रहा है, देन ओनली वी कैन कंफर्म अ सपोर्ट ऑफ द गैप, और एल्स ये ड्रिफ्ट जारी रहेगा। सो आई थिंक फिर से मेरा कैमरा हेजी हो जा रहा है, आई डोंट नो व्हाई। या हैप्पी मॉर्निंग, या हैप्पी मॉर्निंग Venkat. Historical volatility is always your VIX, which we do daily, that is HV. More or less it will be same. Plus I have made an indicator, I'll just give it to you, Venkat, whenever you want. So let's start this session. I'll read out the disclaimer very loud and very clear. This is for educational and informational purposes only and does not constitute financial advice. एंड आज देखते हैं 20 अगस्त को मार्केट क्या लग रहा है। अभी आपको सबको पता है, बट लेट्स सी लेवल्स एंड व्हाट द ग्लोब अराउंड इज। क्या कोई एक गुंजाइश है? आज बाउंस की लग तो नहीं रहा, बट देख लेते हैं। सेंसेक्स की एक्सपायरी है, कॉल राइटर्स का पलड़ा भारी है। कॉल राइटर्स, yeah, the drift has eroded the premium in the calls like anything. So things are not that rosy for a reversal, but markets are markets. Now we have included this section in which we are daily going to see the FIs and the DIs figures. If you see, the towers on the FI side was only very big negative 2 days back. Otherwise, is more or less इतना कोई जोर से selling हो नहीं रहा. But at the same time, DIs are continuously on a buying spear, which means even yesterday they had bought worth 4,000 crores. So the sentiment from the institutional side is not that negative. But you see, when market is a drift, then what happens is the traders community see the momentum and the swings comes from the short-term traders. Remember that. The institutions give the base to the markets. So right now, the base is there, but the momentum is not there, and the drift is there. So after this, let's go to our plan, what we follow on a daily basis. No gut feel, pure data. And today evening, I'm having this session, please, on volatility, how to measure it with options data. Yeah, Venkat, I'll do the historical part also. So the headlines क्या बोल रहे? US stock futures rise on earning, easing treasury yields, Fed's minutes in focus. तो वहाँ पे भी कुछ ना कुछ न्यूज आ रहे हैं, बट देखिए एक जो माहौल है वो ग्रीन है. So nothing big negative out there as far as the US markets are concerned. एक बार हम चेक कर लेते हैं अभी एशिया क्या ट्रेड कर रहा है and what's the sentiments out there. See, does it directly affect the market from the intraday perspective? इसको हम thoughts and perception बोलते हैं, in हिंदी हम जिसको माहौल बोलते हैं. So thoughts and perception जानना as a trader के लिए very relevant है, important है. इसके बगैर you don't trade, fine. US futures are in green, not that big much, but okay. यूरोप भी अब ये देखो तो मोर और लेस एक फ्लैटिश नोट है. इटली गिरा, बट वी डोंट ट्रैक इटली. 500 पॉइंट्स डाउन. या बोवेस्पा मेटल इंडेक्स इज अप. निकाई 120 पॉइंट फ्लैट बोलेंगे. हैंगसेंग 45 पॉइंट्स फ्लैट बोलेंगे. So more or less, as far as the global markets, including Asia and Europe and US is concerned, things are quite flattish right now. Okay. So only 3 likes out of all the participants. If you are not liking the sessions, please do communicate how we can improve it, the sessions, because this is a community of trading titan, which means nobody is an expert out there. Okay. So after this only, we go to our price charts. We don't do micro scanning of news, one broad headlines which matters globally. After this, we go to GIFT Nifty. I think more or less GIFT Nifty will be flattish. When I say flattish, it's one strike, which is 50 points plus or minus. But let's check it out. So now we'll check GIFT Nifty for divergence. So GIFT Nifty, if you see, is up 200 points, 178 points, which means that GIFT Nifty has taken support at this gap. How many of you remember this gap that we were talking about? We do this in detail in the evening sessions when we do for swing, but let me check if you all remember or not. So nobody remembers. It makes me sad in the morning. After this, let's go and check crude. See, crude more or less, I guess we'll check the NYMEX. Yes. क्रूड अभी मुझे तो लग रहा है 75 तक का एक डिप है क्रूड में, बिकॉज दिस गैप रेजिस्टेंस इज टू स्ट्रॉन्ग, सो क्रूड इज टेकन केयर ऑफ. आफ्टर दिस लेट्स चेक द विक्स इंडेक्स. क्या अभी भी इस रेंज में ही है कि इट्स शोइंग अस दैट कोई भी एक साइड आ सकता है मूव? नहीं, अभी भी रेंज में विक्स. आर यू सीइंग दिस? नाउ लेट मी रिमूव ऑल प्रीवियस ड्राइंग. इट्स नॉट रेलेवेंट राइट नाउ. राइट नाउ व्हाट इज रेलेवेंट इज दिस रेंज इन विक्स. देख रहे हैं आप विक्स कितना फ्लैटिश हो गया, राइट? So VIX is also too flat for and too range bound, which suggests that somewhere down the line इस तरह का VIX है. देखिए यहाँ पे भी एक फ्लैटिश VIX हो गया था. So which says that it's a consolidation phase. I repeat, it's a consolidation phase. So VIX is stuck in a range in which VIX 12 और 10 के बीच में रहेगा. That's what the price charts of VIX are showing. After doing this much, then we go to Nifty. Don't directly come to Nifty. I see lots of traders making that mistake because you see, उससे होता क्या है ना, if you come straight to Nifty, you miss out the relevant information which you require to plan a trade for yourself on that particular day as a trader. Don't miss any information. Some information might be relevant for that day, some might not be relevant for the day. But as a trader, you don't pre-decide what's relevant and what's not relevant. See the tape and then jot down what's relevant and what's not relevant. Tape means the price or the price charts. So this is Nifty. We were watching this gap and this gap has been filled. So I'll take this entire as a support. Now, the damage which was done in Nifty, 200 days far away. So I'm not going to see the 200 DMA today, but हम आज focus रखेंगे 50 दिन के average पे. And the 50-day average is yesterday's high. Drop a line over there. Let me see whether I have plotted correctly. मैंने plot किया, yes, 50 दिन का है. So this red line should be there on your price chart throughout the day. That is your 50-day moving average. As market opens, there might be a minor adjustment, but it does not change that big because averages are based on previous day's close. Sometimes I have seen the trading view also takes into account is it keeps on rolling as per the last close. Ashok, has it started? What, Ashok? Market has not started. A webinar live has started. Ashok, you can't see or hear. We are all waiting. No, I think the session is going on, friends. I don't know why you're not getting it. I'll just check it on my mobile because from my side it's showing it's live. Let me check. Are you all getting my audio loud and clear? The webinar, the session has started, friends. Let me check. Yeah, I'm getting it on my mobile. It's live. So yeah, Arif is also saying it's live. So I guess something connection at your end. AV is good. That's fine. So now don't ignore 50 दिन के एवरेज इग्नोर मत करो, यहाँ पे लाइन कर दो. जो गिफ्ट निफ्टी आज एक्सॉशन दिखा रही है, which is it's opening straight in the gap. Yeah, Shweta says fine. So this is the 50-day moving average. As far as Nifty is concerned, ये red line रहने दो. And on the downside, you see previous day कल एक base बना, and this base is around this support, is this gap, and gaps are always support. If you know, that's how we are following the price charts, and that's how gaps theory is. Right? तो मार्केट कहीं ना कहीं 24,150 और 24,000, ये 150 पॉइंट की रेंज का मार्केट है. अगर गैप अप होता तो विल इट फर्दर रिकवर? आई हैव माय डाउट्स बिकॉज सीइंग द स्ट्रेंथ अराउंड अस एंड द प्राइस एक्शन, विल हैव टू प्रोब इट एज मार्केट ओपन्स. तो ये 50 दिन की एवरेज कल जैसे मार्केट खुला, कैन यू सी देयर इज अ बिग रेड कैंडल? सच कैंडल्स बिलोंग्स टू सेलर्स. तो आपको करना क्या है, ये 50 दिन का एवरेज और कल का हाई लेके एक जोन बना देना, which is approximately how many points up from the current price? It's 105, 14 points up. But the way gift nifty is showing, it's above that, but we'll have to wait. और फिर और एक इसके ऊपर उसके अगले दिन देखिए यहाँ पे बहुत कंसोलिडेशन था. जहाँ पे भी कंसोलिडेशन ऐसा रहता है ना, एंड वन क्रैक कम्स, दैट्स वेयर द सप्लाईज. रिमेंबर, देयर आर डेफिनेट रूल्स फॉर मार्किंग अ सप्लाई. यू कांट मार्क ऑन एनी हाई एंड एनी लो. So this is how my Nifty is today. Got it, everybody? And see, remember one thing. अगर आज आपको gap up opening दिखे, that's what gift Nifty is showing. It does not say it will. Then uh, once you have a gap, then there are two possibilities, right? So what are those two possibilities? वो दो possibility है क्या? One is एक जोर से gap खुलता है and then it fades in the gap. It's a very known technical term, fades in the gap. फेड्स इन द गैप का मतलब क्या है? आप देखते हो गैप अप मार्केट थोड़ा होता है, 5-10 मिनट ऊपर जाता है, आफ्टर दैट पूरे दिन एक ड्रिफ्ट आता है, जो ओपनिंग का गैप आता है, इट फिल्स दैट गैप. हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू हैव नोटिस दिस? दैट इज व्हाट वी कॉल प्राइस फेड्स इन द गैप, वेदर इट्स एन अपसाइड गैप और अ डाउनसाइड गैप. देखिए, इन कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ अ डाउनवर्ड ड्रिफ्ट, जब भी ऐसा गैप आता है ना, तो थोड़े आप कॉशियस रहो. वो क्या करते हैं, एक रेजिस्टेंस हिट करके it has the tendency to fade in the gap. I'll just show you pictorially what it looks like. Let's say market यहाँ पे close हुआ, okay, and it gaps up. I need, yeah, right. It gaps up. Gaps up के बाद it hits a resistance. थोड़ा और 10-15 मिनट ऊपर जाता है, then एक drift आता है. इसको हम बोलते हैं fading in the gap. Okay. So आज आपको gap fading के बारे में ध्यान रखना. क्या गैप फेडिंग फुल हो सकता है? कैन इट फिल द फुल गैप? दैट वी कैन ओनली से दैट एंड ट्रैक द वीवैप. अगर वीवैप के जब तक नीचे है तो अ गैप अप ओपनिंग, once it breaks the VWAP, and if it does not cross that, then the tendency of the price is to fill the gap. So आज gap का ध्यान रखो, and this is how your Nifty is looking like on the 15 minutes a day traders time frame charts. Fine. So anybody who has not registered today, we are having a volatility measure rules trade with confidence. It's today at between 4:30 to 5:30. See, there are total three methods for us to decide a range. One based on options data, second based on chart data, which is average true range, and third is also based on volatility, which is VIX. And these three range techniques you should know as a trader. इसके बगैर आप trade मत करो. Once you learn it today in the evening sessions, you yourself will have a very, very big edge when it comes to knowing the upper and the lower end of the range. So don't miss this session. I have given the link in the chat. You can register. So this is how Nifty is looking like. It's more or less, मुझे तो ऐसा लग रहा, I'll go for one. Post that, देखिए आज सेंसेक्स की एक्सपायरी भी है. So I thought I might extend this session because I've exceeded the time in explaining fading at the gaps. So I think today is going to be one. Two out, अगर gap up होता है, it's one. अगर बहुत ऊपर gap होता है तो. So let's see where market opens. So that's how today we are. Attending webinar, that's great. After this, let's go to Bank Nifty. See, Bank Nifty, just let's give it a glance. 200 DMA is somewhere here. Bank Nifty, mein, remember that the line is still dropped. So I'm not removing the lines. देखिए, important averages when they run across the price chart. See, yesterday also Bank Nifty, how many of you noticed Venkat and other participants? It just spiked up from a support level which we had marked. So this is the 200-day moving average on Bank Nifty. यहाँ पे आपको ध्यान देना. So generally what we do as a trader is if an average is running and price are below that, take the candle wick and the average and that itself becomes your supply. Got it everybody? So I'm taking the and the supply. So which is close to 300 points above. And Bank Nifty, this low was there, which is from this low. I'm not changing this, let it be intact. And then we markets may become volatile, so we mark one secondary. So if you ask me, Bank Nifty more or less kahin na kahin, it's showing a steady range. And then from where prices decline, why? Because there's a big red ERC. ERC stands for expanded range candle. Be aware of it. And it's quite simple today. Bank Nifty, this is going to be the range in the morning. As the day progresses, let's see which side it's breaking. So morning hour belongs to 1. As the day progresses, you have to plan for your next this thing. So is this mapping the markets helping you, friends? Just give me your opinion, yes or a no. बिकॉज देखिए पूरा दिन तो हम नहीं बोल सकते ना मॉर्निंग पे, पूरे दिन पे हम डिमांड सप्लाई बायर सेलर जोन्स मार्क कर सकते हैं, बट यस समवेयर डाउन द लाइन more or less we know that's how these things are, and as the day progresses either you see sign of strength or you see sign of weakness, then that's your role which comes in as a trader to plan further. As I said, the purpose of these sessions are educational in nature and it gives you the foundational knowledge about the price action part. Then by trade आपका मेहनत आपको करनी पड़ेगी, right? The trades are yours, the hard work is also yours. I can just give you the foundational understanding like fading the gap today, make a note of it, okay? So that's Bank Nifty more or less set. So before I end, I'll just display this. Those who have not registered, make sure you register for the webinar. It's volatility measures rules based on options data for options traders for weekly expiry and for credit spreads. You can do it for monthly also. So see, as an option trader, you always need a range, right? And this range, there are 3 distinct methods how to mark the range. That's how you'll be surprised to see the open interest buildup is at or around those range for the credit spread traders. Need one more webinar on demand and supply? Definitely, I'll do it, Venkat. So that's all from my side, friends. Thanks. Have a nice day. We'll meet again in the evening at 3:45 and again at 4:30.